Hello.
Hello,
May I ask what's your name?
my name is Eddy Gonzalez.
Where do you come from?
I was born in Canada and my family is originally from Mexico. So I've been in Taiwan for about 20 years and I own a Mexican restaurant.
Why do you choose to come to Taiwan?
So originally I came here to coach soccer and I did that for a little while. Then I started to teach. I originally came here because I wanted to leave my country, try something different. Because my family is from Mexico, everybody said, just go back to Mexico. You already speak Spanish. It should be easy. But I was young. I was about 23 years old, single. And I thought, I want to try something different. So coming to Asia is about as different as it gets.
Okay, but there are other countries in Asia that you could go to. Why Taiwan in particular?
I speak English and Spanish. And then I thought to myself, if I can learn a third language, I think that Mandarin will be good. So I looked at China, Korea, Japan, Taiwan, and I thought, well, Japan snows, and where I live in Canada, it snows a lot. So I thought, long story short, if I can come to a tropical island and learn Mandarin, which is one of the biggest languages in the world, for me, that'd be perfect. So I came here. Originally, the plan was to come here, and then maybe 1 year here, 1 year Japan, maybe 1 year China, 1 year Korea. But I came here and it's perfect. I love it, so I stayed.
So you came here to teach and then you own a restaurant now.
I do, yeah.
What's the name of the restaurant?
The name of my restaurant is Eddy's Cantina,艾迪墨西哥餐厅. So basically Cantina means kind of like a restaurant bar, like bar and grill. And we started serving mostly Mexican food. And because things that I miss back home, like wings and stuff like that, we started to add stuff like that to the menu, a few more Western items. But we also do local craft beer. We have eight beers on tap, and we serve local craft, and we have margaritas. And we also do like fizzy coffees and stuff like that, yeah. We are located in Tianmu. We started from a stand 15 years ago, and yeah, so now we grew it into a pretty good restaurant out here.
Okay, check it out, Eddy's Cantina in Tianmu.
Yes, please do.
Was it difficult to establish a business here?
It was a little bit more difficult before, but now there are entrepreneur groups and the Taiwanese government is making it easier with entrepreneur visas and gold cards and stuff like that. When I started, I had just got married. So because my wife is Taiwanese, it was also not too difficult. But I didn't have much experience. I just thought I like to eat. There wasn't very much Mexican food 15 years ago. And I know that Taiwanese people, they like to try different foods and they like to do different exotic sort of things. So I thought, let's try it out.
What do you find mostly interesting about Taiwanese culture?
I think the people are really nice. And for example, if I'm going out with a friend for a coffee or something and I leave, if I need to go to the bathroom, I don't need to pack up all my stuff and carry it into the bathroom with me. I can sort of leave my laptop, I can leave my wallet, I can leave my cell phone on the table. Nobody's gonna take it. I've lost my wallet, I've lost my keys, I've lost my cell phone multiple times here over 20 years. But within a couple hours, police station is calling me and they're like, hey, your keys are here, your wallet's here, your cell phone's here. And it's crazy, I always get my stuff back. And I grew up a little bit careless. I kind of just throw things everywhere. My wife gets mad about that. But yeah, I always get my phone back, my wallet back, everything back.
So what is maybe one or two main cultural difference between Taiwan and Mexico or Canada?
So I think because I come from a small town, people are also very nice and polite there. But I think that one of the things that needs to be improved, I think, here is the driving. You take your driving test, you take your month-long course, you kind of memorize how to pass the test, and then you pass the test. But actually, when you're out driving, you have to do a lot of thinking and stuff like that. Luckily for me, not me, but I've seen a lot of, some pretty bad accidents and stuff like that. Whereas in Canada, everybody drives very carefully. If you drive on the highway, you have there's like a 2-second rule. So the car in front of you needs to be like 2 seconds ahead of you. Whereas if you come to Taiwan and you're doing sort of the 2-second rule, everybody just cuts you off and kind of, yeah, it's a learning experience for sure. It's very different. But yeah, I think that's one of the few things I think that needs improvement.
How is it like marrying a Taiwanese woman?
Of course, I've only been married once, so I can't really compare it to other marriages. But yeah, I think it's great. My wife and I, we have a pretty good relationship. Of course, because we grew this business and this restaurant ourselves. So it definitely puts a lot of stress on the relationship. Yeah, Taiwanese. My wife is very loyal, and I'm loyal with her. And yeah, it's great, man. I think it's been pretty good.
Was it like raising a kid in Taiwan as a foreigner?
I'm Canadian. My wife is Taiwanese, and we have a very different mindset on education. In the West, kids don't have much homework and they're off at 3, so they have a lot of free time, which can be good, but also it gives kids more time to kind of get into trouble. Whereas here, it's the very opposite. So kids go, they finish at 4, they've got like 2 or 3 hours of homework. They go and maybe they learn piano and all this other stuff, so they have no free time. My daughter doesn't do all of that stuff. She finishes, she does her homework, and then she has free time. But yeah, things like my wife will always be like, oh, she should learn if she likes art, she should go to an art school. If she likes piano, she needs to go to a piano teacher. But for me, I just think she's a kid. She needs to have some fun. You know, she likes to play soccer. She likes to do jujitsu, just different things, and just sometimes just watch a movie, sometimes play video games, just kind of enjoy your life. So that's kind of where things are different here. The education is it's definitely different. So basically, yeah, that was one of the things that was tough for me to get used to. Because for me, I make sure my daughter sleeps a lot. I make sure she's, you know, she goes and plays in the sun, even if it's 40 degrees. She got to get that vitamin D. Yeah, and don't worry if you get a tan, because that's also that's also crazy. Yeah.
What else do you do other than operating a restaurant?
Okay, so about 3.5 years ago, I started a YouTube channel, which is basically a live streaming podcast. We do it once a week, usually on a Tuesday night at 7 p.m. And what I do is I find sort of interesting people in the community, different entrepreneurs, comedians, some big YouTubers, big foreign YouTubers, big Taiwanese YouTubers, big food challenge eaters, and I bring them in, and we sort of have like a Joe Rogan style, just a straight up live interview. Yeah, I've been doing that for about 3.5 years, and with that, it's helped my business, but it's also helped me to learn different parts of Taiwan. And it's great because it's not like one topic. So yeah, I get to talk to different people in different industries. That's kind of my passion project. So I love doing that stuff.
So what's the name of the YouTube channel?
The YouTube channel is called Eddy Live.
Eddy.
If you just search for Eddy Live, it pops up. Or if you just go www.eddy.live, that's EDDY.LIVE, that will go right to the YouTube channel.
Okay, all right, check it out. Eddy
Please
Live.
check it out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Could you give us maybe one difference between Asian women compared to Mexican or Canadian women?
So basically back home, it's more like everybody wants to be like 50-50, right? Like, so if you're married to somebody, all the cleaning and the cooking and paying the bills and the work, everything is supposed to be 50-50. Here, it seems as if you go out and when you're single and you go out on a date and you go to pay the bill, people are happy. I remember in Canada, when you do that, sort of in this day and age, people kind of are like, oh, I can pay my own bill. I don't need no man to do that for me. And I'm just...
Have you traveled around Taiwan?
I have. I've traveled to Hualien. My wife is from Miaoli, so we go there a lot. We traveled to Kaohsiung. I have to say I like Kending the most because Kending is it's a little small beach town at the bottom tip of Taiwan, and it reminds me a lot of Mexico. If you go to Mexico and it's a very small beach town, everybody's laid back, pretty good food. People don't mind getting a tan. They go swimming. They're eating on the beach. So for me, I love Kending because it was very laid back.
If you are to change anything in Taiwan, what would it be?
I think that Taiwan is really good with people coming to visit. Like tourism and stuff is very good here. The world doesn't really know that. So I think that I would say the marketing on the tourism and stuff like that, I think there's lots of YouTubers like yourself that are sharing really cool stories of Taiwan. That's really good because Taiwan it's safe, it's beautiful, and I think more people need to know about it. Usually when people think about, Asia or Southeast Asia, they think about maybe Japan or Thailand or Korea, South Korea, but nobody really thinks of Taiwan. So slowly it's getting there, and when people do come, they find out it's a beautiful place, great street food, great people. I've been here for 20 years, so it's changed a lot. I think people are getting even nicer. A little bit more racism, I think, about 20 years ago. But I think now people are more accepting of different colored skin people and stuff like that. They come here. I had some friends from Africa that were here 20 years ago, and it was a little bit rough for them, so they had to leave, which was sad because they were pretty good friends of mine. But so now I think there's big YouTubers that are African as well, and they're killing it, speak Taiwanese. I think it's great. I love it.
And what is the nicest thing someone has done for you here in Taiwan?
That's a tough one, man, because people, like I said, people are really nice. I always think returning the stuff that I've lost is always a really nice thing. I've been invited to so many weddings and to so many gatherings when I just came to Taiwan. When I was very quiet, I was very shy. people would always say, hey, you know what? My cousin's getting married. I'm in the wedding party. You know, come and join the wedding. You've never been to a Taiwanese wedding. So people, they're always inclusive. They always invite me to do stuff. And I find that that's really cool because it's similar to Mexico, where the Mexican culture is, you know, you come here, hey, you're like family, come and eat, stuff like that. Whereas Canada, it's a little bit different. If they don't know you, they're not going to invite you to like an intimate affair like that. But in Taiwan, you meet them, they're like, hey, let's go do this. Let's go have a drink. Let's do something. Let's make some friends for you. So I thought that's pretty cool.
What do you find mostly annoying?
Sometimes, again, I think that one of the things that bothers me is probably the driving. Because when you're driving, for example, if you give people space, other people will cut you off. Now people drive a lot with while they hold their cell phones. Yeah. And for example, in a school zone especially, you have to slow down, you have to stop. But in Taiwan, you know, my daughter goes to school and she has to cross a road. So I'm always very paranoid because people don't stop at crosswalks. It's changing a little bit now, maybe a month or two. It's getting much better because the government's starting to dish out very big fines. But again, I've been here for about 20 years and I've been almost hit by cars on crosswalks, almost hit by scooters. And I'm like very paranoid when I cross the street and stuff. It is getting better, but yeah, that's one of the things that bugs me for sure.
Do you have anything else to tell Taiwanese people?
I think Taiwanese people are quite proud of Taiwan. Very cool when a Taiwanese person goes out to another country, learns about that culture and brings it back to Taiwan. Taiwan needs to share a little bit more about the culture. The government's working on it, but I think that they need to do more to share about how great Taiwan is. For example, I was here for about 10 years and my family thought I was in Thailand. They didn't know about Taiwan until they actually came here, they experienced it, they loved it. I think we need to share more good things about Taiwan.
All right, thank you very much and welcome to Taiwan.
Thank you, appreciate it.